Hello everyone, I'm Seb and I'm recording this shortcast for you today. It's a game I've been requested to shortcast by Rocky, who's playing at Soldier of Liberty Sartia account against DevM, who new Sunday Night Fight champion. But this game was actually played before Sunday Night Fight. It's like 1 week ago or something like that. So yeah, I directly started the game. And we have two engineers barracks start against two pioneer Volksgrenadier. I believe, I'm not sure if no, actually no. Devin might go for a bike or a shrimp wagon, because I know he likes to do that on this map. I've played some training games against him, and we've also seen it on Sunday Night Fight. Most of the time he goes for fast bike or shrimp wagon, it depends, and send it near that munition point to harass that engineer. So that's what I'm expecting, and our rifleman is coming for the American player. I'm not sure how long will be that game. I didn't check before it starts actually, but it doesn't matter. We'll see that. I don't really have much more to add, I think, to introduce this one. So I'll just wait and see how the first fight are going. Say, as I expecting, Shrimwagon is going down that road and probably for that part of the map. And there's a capping, very standard capping capping order from both players, both capping fuel and munition near their base. And yeah, as I was saying, I made some practice game with him, but then I started to play League of Legends and I just kinda like that game, so I'm playing it a bit more than COH these days. So I cannot practice with him as much as he would like. But yeah, I've still got some games, so should be good. And yeah, as you've seen on Sunday Night Fight, definitely was ready enough. So I'm not feel ashamed of not having practicing more with him. So that stream is harassing the engineers. You should be careful because at close range the engineers are doing lots of damage. So you should just pay some attention to that. But now there's the machine gun on the field, and this is kinda bad for him, because if you're harassing like that, you usually would like to force the engineer to retreat. And there it's almost like it did nothing, since it didn't force a retreat or not ever kill the guy. And you obviously had to send the shrimp in the middle of the map to protect his machine gun, because the machine gun alone without support cannot see an enemy coming, so it cannot be put in a good position. So you need the shrimp or the bike to add the machine gun, definitely. And nicely forced retreat on that rifleman. Nice early mines. I told him in previous games we had that he should put much more mines much earlier. I'm afraid the American player can see this one. Yeah, see with the fog of war, I can definitely see there was a mine there. So we'll probably not work over it, but at least that will prevent him from going that way until he gets flamethrower to burn it or minesweepers. And there's rifleman focusing on the Shumragon, but he's getting out quite easy on time, and machine gun finally suppressed him. So that's once again a nice fight for the Wehrmacht player. He won the two first battle, even though he didn't do great in that fight against the engineers. Earlier in the game he did the nice two of the fights, the two flowing fights were at his advantage, so he's in a good position. He has the middle of the map, he didn't lose his side of the map, and he ever forced to retreat the third rifleman. That's really bad for the American player. I'm not sure why he picked those fights. He picked every fight wrongly. There's not a single fight that he actually picked right and won it. So yeah, I'm afraid rifleman position a bit off today for him. I've seen him doing better. Even though those engineers, because they did not have been forced to retreat, they actually captured the other side of the map, so he's not in a that bad position. He just lost a few manpower, but it wasn't really. I mean, yeah, the Wehrmacht didn't really had any opportunity to capitalize on that. He nicely used the time to put some mines, capture 1 or 2 points or rest it up, but it didn't have time to go for the some weapon or something like that. So that's kind of still okay for the Wehrmacht player at this point. And soft retreat, I missed that on the camera, but those engineers forced retreat, not forced, I mean slow retreated or soft retreated from the Volks, so they can go back and fight for the next time. And he ran over that mine, so that's kind of sad. He should have been paying more attention. I mean, he knew it, so. However, if he's trying to rush those Volks, he will have to go over the right cover of the river, so he's not in a really good position. He's just correctly sitting in the green cover, or no, yellow cover made by the crater, fighting those Volks that are not in cover. He should be putting his Volks behind that tree to put them in cover. And on the other side of the map we have riflemen killing the Schwimm wagon and forcing probably the pioneers to retreat. And there's a sniper, but the sniper has no support, so he will not be able to do much damages. So the American player is definitely coming back from the bad early game he had, because yeah, he killed the Schwimm wagon before. I don't think it had any impact, and there was some wires, but he didn't finish them correctly, and those riflemen were able to go past them and flank the machine gun. That's kinda unfortunate for the Wehrmacht once again. Yeah, he noticed by himself, obviously. It's kinda sad for him. He should be paying much more attention. Sometimes, yeah, when you are in such a situation, you actually draw the line to actually cover the whole area, and often when there's a little gap like that, you cannot get it by drawing the line. You have to put some wires like in a perpendicular way or something like that to actually be able to cover that gap. If I didn't see what happened there because I was explaining you this, but it seems like he forced the American to retreat. So even though the American actually won that fight, forced those units to retreat, also those the middle of the map, like that machine gun that was there, he still didn't manage to actually capitalize on his advantage, and he basically just lost manpower since he didn't get any advantage of the fight, since he didn't get any map, he didn't finish full squads, so Volks are just cheap to enforce, and on the other hand he lost lots of manpower, so nicely getting Trier Center obviously to heal the guys, but he lost too much guys. He has to reinforce too much of them, and the Wehrmacht player can now get a strong position on the field, I think, putting some nice war in this position. So yeah, the American has been pretty bad with the rifleman play since the early game, because he lost some fights, and the only fight he won, actually he didn't manage to capitalize on it. Maybe because he didn't take some good decision, and also because the Wehrmacht player was really quick to come back on his foot. So yeah, I'm afraid the Americans in kind of bad position, not correctly pushing the rifleman, and I think there's 4 of them, and he got a jeep for the sniper, I'm pretty sure. And one mine there, he should have been using shift click and move the pioneer somewhere else, because it's obvious there was a mine because of that position of the engineer, and he should be careful with the jeep since he saw some mines already. He went over this one, he saw this one. You should be careful with the jeep, and definitely cannot engage the sniper if there's the other units covering, and surprisingly there's Pioneer with bars. It's not really a good idea, you want to grab the bars with Volksgrenadier instead. But I guess if the Volks were not in range, and if the Pioneer didn't get the bar, the rifleman could have picked them, so in such case then you obviously get it over with the Pioneer instead of letting your opponent grab it back. So yeah, the American, he has the right units. I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting 2 flamethrowers and riflemen, 4 riflemen and bars. But I'm afraid if you're going bars like that and then are not able to actually push the Wehrmacht out of the map, it's just a weak tier 1. I mean, there's only 4 tier 1 units, those 2 Volks, machine gun, a sniper, and he actually got a second machine gun when he saw the bars, I think. It was this one. it's a new machine gun. But I'm afraid, yeah, if you're taking bar, you should be in a better position in the early game. Since he saw he didn't manage to actually win any fight, he's nicely just camping like that to avoid losing even more manpower. He already lost so much manpower before that it's kind of wise for him to just, let's say, yeah, I didn't get that right, so I would just stop doing it. However, is coming to engineers might be. Did he? Yeah, he actually finished the wire. But that machine gun is nicely covering the fuel, and the fuel is being put an observation post on it because he's going tier 3, so he'll need that fuel for getting stugs and getting Pumas or veterancy. So that's a nice observation post. Yeah, then I don't know. I'm afraid the American player was requesting me this shortcast to actually help him on this game, and I actually missed. I mean, I saw the early game as you did, and I don't really have anything to say about it. It's like it just got outplayed. I mean, I didn't see any obvious mistake. It was just kinda not feeling the game correctly. Like the opponent was always in better position, and I cannot really say anything against that. I mean, yeah, just I don't know. It was maybe a bad day, and try to put your units in a better position next time. The 3 first riflemen being forced to retreat one after the other, that was definitely bad. So yeah, if you have to retreat the first rifleman, you're already not going to be in a good position. If you see there is a MG bike combination or MG Schwimmwagen combination, you should be careful with your rifleman. Do not try to engage a machine gun. Just, play safe, stay behind until you have more units to actually be able to flank. If you send one unit alone against machine gun bike, you always be forced to retreat. And we saw some nice move by Wehrmacht player. He knew the American player was going to retreat through that road in red cover, so he moved all of those units from this safe position to that less safe position, but he could actually have been killing lots of units on the retreat. If American didn't have those riflemen near the house, near the church to actually protect the retreat path, I'm afraid he would have lost all of his units. So that was definitely, he saved his life for now by being there with one rifleman. Those guys would have killed all the retreating. That's something you should always be careful on Samoa. It's when you're pushing there on the north of the map, the retreat path is really can be dangerous through the middle. There's more mines coming. Those pioneers are really on low health, so we should be getting, and those volks are the same. So if he has munitions, he should get medic kits to heal them, but since he put lots of mine, he actually doesn't have the munitions, so he should be getting the veteran C1 for support and infantry to heal all of those guys, because they will, they will drop guys too easily without that. And the Wehrmacht player is not really capitalizing much on his advantage at this point. He's slowly pushing. I guess he doesn't want to make a mistake. He's really slowly pushing the American, and since the American is in motor pool, he just got 180 gun instead of an M8, so that tug is not really useful at this point in the game, but it's always a nice unit because it scales well into the late game. And you should be careful because there's artillery, but I don't really agree with this artillery shot because the American doesn't have any unit nearby to actually push afterwards. He could have killed guys with, but that would have been lucky, and for my player not icing. And since it wasn't the case, don't use artillery if you have no unit to push afterwards, because the guy can just retreat and then just come back, and if you don't have units to cap the map or play mines, there's no point in forcing him to retreat. And he saw, as we see, the sniper retreated slower than all the other units. That happens when you retreat the sniper and keeping them under the camo ability. So when you are retreating a sniper or stormtroopers, you want to remove the cloak ability to make them retreat at the full speed instead of the slow speed. Even though when they retreat, they are not actually under camo. The skin is still visible and the unit can be targeted. but they keep the -1 speed reduction. Yeah, they keep the speed reduction, so you want to always uncloak them before retreating them. And at this point, I'm afraid, yeah, 180 gun will not be able to hold all of that auto tanks, but he's not very careful with the Puma, so he might still lose it. No, there it is, escaped. He should be using the sniper to kill the 80 gun instead of those riflemen. Getting Neighbor Wafer is also a really good idea, since American is being static with campy units, so definitely that's what he needs. And there is another artillery that I'm afraid will not do much. He tried to kill the sniper, but it could just retreat. It actually killed the Stug, so that's kinda worth it, but it's because the Stug has been badly microed, and this one has also been badly microed. DevM should really work on his Stug micro. I've also seen Sunday Night Fight this last Sunday, and he got some Stugs against Siberian and really lost them quite badly. So DevM, if you're listening to this shortcast, you should really improve your Stug micro. It's kinda bad. And for the American, you're floating so much resources, you're going for the howitzer, which is kinda good, but I don't know, I have the feeling getting a weapon support center and mortar earlier in the game would be better than this howitzer, because howitzer is a lot of resources to spend. If you get lucky shot, then that's nice, that might turn the battle for you, but if you don't, it's kinda useless unit that came a bit late. With a mortar earlier in the game, you can easily force a Wehrmacht player to make mistakes or to lose man when there's static fights like that. There's also a sniper for counter-sniping on the weapon support center. There's a Stu now coming. They're really nice mines, doing lots of damage. It's really nice play. American should not overextend like that when you know there's mines like that. You should get minesweepers, definitely. That being American or Wehrmacht, when your opponent is putting lots of mines, you just need minesweepers at least on one squad. And there's another bar on the ground. I'm not sure if any player saw it. It should be the work of the oh, that's sad. There was a howitzer shot setting up, detonating a mine from Wehrmacht, and the mine was near the Stu and just killed the engine of the Stu. That's kinda sad, but you should be careful with that only 180 gun, which that veteran C1 with only one Stu kill, which is surprising. I didn't know it will do that. But yeah, you should be careful, because that 180 gun can be, I mean, it can get enable shot. There's once again artillery. This one might be better, but no luck, it didn't kill the MG. It forced a retreat, and at least there's rifleman nearby, so at least you can capitalize on that to cap the map. After there's a nice man. But the Wehrmacht player is really in such a strong position. The American has that howitzer, but I think an earlier mortar would be better against such fights, because the howitzer has a long cooldown, and it's not very accurate. If you have a mortar, it's very accurate and it can fire almost non-stop, so yeah, it's better. However, yeah, there's the 80 gun standalone and no infantry to actually cover it. That's kinda bad. There's an howitzer shot trying to hit those Volks, but it's really not accurate. I'm not sure what he's trying to kill actually with them. He should be targeting the machine gun or the static units with artillery. That's your number one priority. You want to kill the machine gun so you can send the rifleman in. And since he's been forced to retreat and probably toes one, he should probably already move the 80 gun back to not lose it. You should move it ever before retreating the rifleman, because otherwise the Volks will quite easily kill it. So yeah, yeah, the sniper is still alive, so it's kinda making man poorless, but still 14 kills in 19 minutes is not that much. That's not the most effective sniper I've ever seen. It has been kinda, I mean, defensively played sniper, if I can say that. So it's not really, sniper has not really been a problem in this game, as it can be in some other games. You should be careful to machine gun indeed. Even if there's the snipers, the bar could still do lots of damage. But the Wehrmacht player is really building a strong army at this point. And the American doesn't really counter it. I mean, every single fight the American player took since the early game didn't really give him any advantage. He didn't manage to finish any full squad. He still killed those two Stug. I mean, yeah, the Yatigan killed the Stug because the Wehrmacht player was not really microing them directly, so that's kinda the only win the American player did in this game. All the fights have been kinda bad and a loss of manpower. So yeah, I think a mortar would look really good. Once again, machine gun suppressing guys, they went into the house, but I'm afraid you can just soft move away and reset up. It might be artillery shot, that might be a good time to use your artillery when the machine gun is setting up, but quite strangely, he used it before the machine gun actually set up, so it can just continue to move away. That makes no sense to use the artillery like that. And still floating lots of manpower, so definitely weapon support center, sniper, mortars, which really do good in this game. That's nice to have gone for the artillery, but as we can see, the Howitzer still has 0 kills. And it's in the game since some, I mean, maybe 5 minutes, and it still has 0 kills. So that's bad. It's not really paying for himself. It's when it's shooting at nibbles, it's so long range. I mean, it's almost shooting at the max range of the Howitzer. I'm not sure if that is representative or not, but it's really shooting first, so the accuracy is pretty poor. And I know he's blind shooting somewhere, but once again, I don't know. Yeah, finally the weapon support center is there, but I'm afraid it's coming a bit too late. I have to make a quick pause because my computer is lagging, so I'll check what it is, and I'll come back right after. Okay guys, I'm back. I hope it's returned to normal. So I'll just unpause and continue this replay. You shouldn't have really any interruption since it was, I mean, I just paused the game, so you probably didn't miss anything. And it seems to be better for me, I'm not exactly sure. I still feel some lower performance. I think there was like Windows update today, or something like that. It might be the cause of the slow. So yeah, I just hope I will be able to cast this game until the end without crashing. I'm not sure what I was talking about before. Yeah, the weapon support center that came a bit late, I'm afraid. It's better late than never, I guess, but I still feel it's really coming late. And the sniper, yeah, it's nice for counter sniping. I would get a mortar right after that because that's really too static. You want a mortar in such case, in direct fire units, not a sniper. Sniper is good for the counter snipe, but not to kill static units like that. With some mortar, you could sit there. You could use mortar smoke to get the victory points. That's a sure investment. I mean, you could definitely get back the victory point by using mortar smoke and ever minesweepers to avoid mines. Then there's nothing the opponent can do to prevent you from capping the victory point, except maybe having flamethrowers by himself. But because flamethrowers are not reduced accuracy against smoke. But I'm not sure why he moved this AT gun. He could have easily shot at those Stug, but I guess he was afraid of the sniper and maybe also the nibble wafer, so instead he moved back, but Rifleman dropped the bars. And there's artillery coming. Oh, that's... yeah, the sniper is doing his work, sniping the AT gun. Artillery is falling. And American once again, as every time since the early game, has lost a lot of manpower, and the Wehrmacht absolutely lost nothing. Those tanks have been damaged, but that's only almost free to repair. Yeah, why I keep telling almost free, I already explained that in one of my very first casts. I think it might have been the number 4 or something like that. So why almost free? Because when pioneers or engineers or any other repairing unit in the game is repairing, the manpower income is actually reduced. The manpower rate per minute is decreased by 5 for each pioneer repairing a tank. So it's not completely free as people would expect. It actually costs a little manpower per minute. It's 5 manpower per minute per pioneer repairing. And it's really not much. Definitely it's clearly worth it. You will see, check the manpower income, and after repairing you see it's 5 less, so it's not completely free, but it's definitely not, I mean, that's nothing. For one rifleman you drop, you have to pay 27 manpower, so that means you would have to repair for more than 5 minutes for being the same cost as only one rifleman reinforced. So definitely it costs, we can say it costs nothing, but I wanted to explain that. I also wanted to explain something else about repair. Yeah, some people don't know about that. I didn't know it since, I mean, I didn't know it for a long time. When you're repairing, it actually doesn't matter if you have only one guy on the squad, or 2 guys, or 3 guys in case of engineers. The only thing that is changing the repair rate is the squad repairing it, and the number of guys, of member in the squad doesn't matter. So if you've lost some, and one other rifleman lost, that's painful for American, losing too much manpower, really. So yes, as I was saying, if you lost one engineer or one pioneers and you want to repair your tank, you can do it. It will repair exactly the same time. So you don't need to retreat to reinforce the guys before repairing. You can just repair with one guy if you want. It will not change anything to the speed of repair. And it also will not change anything to the manpower rate drop by repairing it. All of this is exactly the same. I will say Wehrmacht is building a very strong army with the Stu and the Stug. And I'm afraid the American will have a really bad time countering this veteran C-tank. I mean, he could just push the tank. There's only one 80 gun. That's not enough to kill those. The howitzers are still not doing very great. He's getting medics, but it's way too late. I'm afraid to get medics. He only has 2 squads left, so that will not produce much bodies. And yeah, not do much generally, especially since the Wehrmacht could easily kill it. Yeah. And the Nebel has actually been decrewed, so at this point the American has absolutely no counter anymore on the field. No counter to the tanks. So the Wehrmacht could be pushing and easily finishing the game, I think. There's a sniper which has now much more kills. It's almost at 30, which is much better and cost effective than it was a bit ago. That sticky bomb was completely useless. First, the Stug have skirts, armored skirts, so there's chances that the sticky bomb will not ever kill the engine. And even if it does, the American has absolutely nothing to push and prevent that. I mean, the Wehrmacht, the American player can just go and repair that one for free, so the sticky bomb was kinda wasted. He's getting a new 80 gun, but even with that one more 80 gun, actually it's not one more since the first is lost. But with that 80 gun he will not be able to hold all that. Actually he got artillery somewhere, I didn't see where it was. It's actually on double rifle, so that's a nice move by American player. He actually go with the sniper to get a view on the Nebel, so he could drop the artillery, and nicely the Wehrmacht player would not expect it since he saw no unit nearby, so he wouldn't expect American to be doing that. And that's really nice micro trick to do that. So he killed the Nebel, which is kind of cool win for him because the Nebel was are countering the 80 guns, so there's still a sniper to deal with, but at least the Nebel is gone. Well, I guess the Wehrmacht has resources maybe to get another one. Which, no, he got another tank and a Shrimp to counter the sniper, late Shrimp wagon. He has lots of munition. I saw more than 500 Oh, there's lots of lag now. I hope you guys will not have lags on my voice. I hope it's maybe just a video lag and that it will not have too big impact. But there's definitely something going on my computer that I should check after the cast. But yeah, the Wehrmacht has such a huge army of tanks. I mean, ever with 2 or 3 AT guns. I'm not sure if the American player could control all of them. There is an M10, but the American has lost so much already that only one M10. I'm not sure if it will do the trick, especially since it's only 1 point away from off-map group. It would maybe have been cheaper to just not get the tank depot and just wait for the off-map, because it's in the long run I think it's manpower effective to get that off map instead of building units in protection buildings. And I didn't really talk much about that Puma, but that's nice used Puma. He didn't spam them as the main force, he just got one and used that one Puma to harass engineer or rifleman trying to cap the map and just prevent that. He should be sending it. I mean, they're maybe not anymore since it was done 10, but otherwise that's the kind of rule you want to do with your Puma or your mate. You just send him and prevent the opponent to be capping. And there it is, Wehrmacht player using his munitions and tank. I'm afraid he's not doing that correctly. I'm not sure why one tank went alone while the others were in the back, and also the infantry not helping. But ever by not exactly using them correctly, he still has the advantage of the number. I mean, yes, so much of them, as I was saying a bit earlier, there's nothing one AT gun can stop. If 2 or 3 AT guns that could almost do it, but even not yet very convincingly, so I'm afraid the game is actually over since a bit of time. I guess they're just trying in case one or the other player makes a huge mistake and actually throw the game away. But otherwise I would say the Wehrmacht is in such good position since actually a pretty long time, almost the early game actually, because the American never really had the upper hand in this game. Just was in the back since so long. So I might actually go in 2 times speed, so it's not too boring for you guys and for me. The game has been really enjoyable so far. I had lots of things to comment on, not too much obvious mistakes, so that's definitely a very enjoyable game. But I'm just going forward because there's nothing happening at the moment and I don't really have anything else to add on my commentary. However, I will slow down a bit now because units are coming closer. That actually again, I'm not sure why the Wehrmacht player didn't attack move on the CT gun to kill it. That's kinda sad because he could have easily finished it and I mean just be done with it, but with 2 AT guns and 1 M10 the American might be in a better position. At least he has more tools to come back, and he's still spotting with the sniper to drop artillery, which is very nice. However, I'm afraid I don't know if it will kill those tanks. Yeah, it still did a lot of damage, that's crazy. And also he was spotting with the sniper for the AT gun because the range of the AT gun is shorter than his sight range, so that's definitely a nice trick to spot with the sniper. Wehrmacht still, yeah, badly. Exactly as I already said before, the Stug micro is really poor, it's really not good. He's using them very wrong. You don't want to keep them like that in front of AT gun without any support from infantry or other units. It's really kinda sad to see actually. Also, yeah, I don't understand. He played correctly for the most part, but this is just painful to watch, especially since it's not the first time. And we also lost the sniper to the American sniper, so the American might be able to come back at this point because the Wehrmacht is doing so bad with the tanks. It's really not. He could have put them in the better position earlier and just send them when he shouldn't have, and just keep them in range of those 80 units and just lost all of them. That's really painful. Streamwagon actually decrewing the AT gun, nice move. M10 moving it when it's moving and in cover like that. I will once again go a bit faster because there's not much happening anymore. There's yeah, it's happening now. Artillery coming on the neighbor position, and Puma nicely macroed, still preventing infantry from doing much damages. That's nicely played, Puma. And we should definitely, at this point, once the M10 is further, finishing all of those IT guns on the ground by attack move, because yeah, he's finally doing it. He should have done it much earlier. And where is the infantry actually? Just one Volks there. Maybe he could recruit one just to be safe from that M10. I don't know. But killing them is also definitely a safe bet. I think it was a mine that killed the Schönwagen. So the American is pushing back. I think he might have got a free squad, so that medic station wasn't that bad, but actually no, it was bad. I mean, it's not because he got a free squad. When he put it, it was really bad because the Wehrmacht could have killed so easily with those two he had. In one or two shots he could have finished it. So it was really a bad medic station for the American, but it actually worked because the Wehrmacht player didn't react correctly to it. So the American is now pushing, and he might be close to getting off map group, which will give him a lot of units. And yeah, actually he needs them because he has no AT gun left. There's only one M10, and that one M10 is not a counter to those tanks. So I really hope for him he gets AT gun. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of the same situation I was talking about like 10 minutes ago, with Wehrmacht being in a much stronger position. And it's exactly the same position once again. The game wasn't over earlier because the Wehrmacht threw it away, but I believe this time he will not, because he's already being more aggressive with the tanks in a better position. If he's pushing forward, he will just prevent the American to get out of his base. If he's sitting there for no reason, he doesn't finish the game. And yeah, he's doing what he should have done 10 minutes ago, which is just pushing there, finishing that. And I'm afraid that might be it. Oh, actually, I think the Puma went over mine. But it doesn't matter that much, those infantry will drop so easily, completely destroyed by that Wehrmacht overwhelming army. That AT gun will also probably go down. Yeah, AT gun easily went down against all of those tanks. And there's still an M10 in the back, but that M10 is not doing any work to help, it's so low health. So the Wehrmacht is just heavily pushing, and I guess he will finish the game on annihilation. He's still losing some tanks to that artillery, but yeah, it's not going to change the face of the game. That you see, guys, that's I'm talking about the Stug army in lots of my shortcasts. I tell you guys, yeah, just get, after whatever you do early game, just get Stug, and at some point you will have so much Stug that the opponent doesn't really have much to counter them. I tried airborne, and airborne blob is not ever counter to those tanks, so don't try airborne to counter them. Don't try artillery. I think the best bet might be armor doctrine, and once you have field repairs on your M10, field repairs on your Pershing, when you have Calliope, and endgame combined rounds from armor doctrine might be the best counter to this kind of Stug army. The other counter is to just be playing better, and yeah, Pershing, as I said, and yeah, countering them earlier, as he did. He actually killed two of them earlier, and then if you had the right units to push, like mortars and infantry together, you could have won the game. Yeah, this game is over. I'll just fast speed. Because there's absolutely nothing to watch in just base being destroyed. Well, yeah, so I'll just conclude the game while it's still playing, because there's nothing left to happen, maybe one more map call. So I have the feeling about these games. First, I hope you guys didn't get too much lags, because I felt it really lagged at some point on my computer. I'm not sure exactly why. I just hope the video will be correctly watchable for you, and that there will be no like sound lag or delay or something. And I bought the game. Sorry, I've been talking a lot. I need 1 second to take a little break, because I'm losing my voice. So yeah, about this game, I have the feeling the American player just didn't get any fight right. I mean, he was fighting. Even in the early game, he got that rifleman forced to retreat. He got this one forced to retreat. Maybe you guys want to see what's happening there, but there's really nothing. I mean, just basic base killing, and it's, yeah, I don't know. I think it makes too much noise if I'm talking above it at the same time, so I'm just not watching it, so you guys don't have too much sound from the explosion and can still hear my voice. So I feel the American player didn't really get any good fight. The 3 first riflemen have been forced to retreat one after the other. That's really bad. It's like the worst possible start for the American player, so that just set him back for the game at that point. And the taking, I think an earlier mortar would be good. The bars, which wasn't really necessary, playback is over, quickly left. So yeah, the bars, that wasn't really necessary, since he didn't win any fight in the early game. He didn't really need the bars. I mean, yeah, he might be able to need it, since actually he didn't win the fights. That might help him to actually win them, but he didn't use them to actually win. So it's kinda not worth it. I'm trying to have some nice view for you guys there by changing the camera, but my game is not really in very high settings, so I'm just figuring out when I'm watching Budwise doing it on Sunday Night Fight. It actually looks much better on his computer, because the whole map is better, the view distance of object is better, so it just looks 10 times much better. So I will not try that anymore on my computer, at least. Yeah, I'll forget about that. So yeah, I feel, yeah, the Wehrmacht just outplayed the American in the early game, just by unit position and push timing, but bad timing. Then taking was good from Wehrmacht. You actually got the right unit, ever with a poor stug. Micro still managed to win the game by getting even more of them. Even though he lost already so much of them, it's still won. That's really strong. If you're playing Wehrmacht, definitely try that strategy, because it's really strong. Yeah, if you're American, I think, yeah, getting armor doctrine would be better, but I think, yeah, he went for infantry, so there's no choice. Once you have it, you have it. So with infantry, yeah, definitely getting off map group instead of tank depot units and bird 80 gun will spare you manpower that you badly need. And the artillery, I'm not sure if it really had a great impact on the game. And also the use of 80 gun. I mean, one 80 gun, when you know there's so much tanks, it's not going to make it. You need to wait to have more than one, but then you're vulnerable to neighbor warfare. So it just can come down to micro. It's micro and how players use their unit on the map. It really depends on the situation. I cannot really give you, I mean, tips for that afterwards. I mean, yeah, obvious tips. Don't group your 80 guns together, so one neighbor cannot decrew them all. But except that, it really depends on the situation. Sometimes you wanna, yeah, and one thing always nice when Stug are camping in this area, you can actually attack ground, the edge to actually kill it, and the 80 gun have much greater range. I mean, it can fire from this this position. Oh, I cannot make ping on the map. I can do on the minimap, not on the map. Anyway, so from firing from there, you can reach those guys there. So if the edge is still up, you can kill it. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. I hope I already gave good ideas about what happened, and I cannot really tell much more. I hope that's enough. If that's not for you, okay, just send me other replays, and I will do all the games. It was kinda pleasure to do this one since it was high level as I like it. So definitely there wasn't any really noob mistake. It was already, I mean, you didn't make the same mistake over and over. You still played pretty well, even though you lost, but DevM is one of the best players at the moment, so playing just well is not enough to beat him. And yeah, I'll be gladly make another review of another game if this one was not really enough, and then just ask me on which point you'd like me to actually pay attention. I'll do that. So guys, thanks for watching this one. Thanks for the player for playing it. Really great game. Sorry once again if there's lags, because I felt lags on my computers. I just hope you will not feel them on the final video. And if that's the case, I'm sorry, and I make sure it doesn't happen anymore. So yeah, very thanks for watching. We're almost at 100 subscribers on YouTube, so that will be a nice milestone for me. I know it's not that much compared to some other guys like Rebs who have more than 3,000 subscribers, but he's definitely much more experienced than me, and yeah, he's also targeting other games, so that's given lots of viewers. But yeah, I'm still happy for myself. When I reach the 100 subscribers, I'll already be happy, and I'm not really expecting, I mean, I'm just starting with this. Technically it's not perfect, my English is still not perfect, so definitely I'm already very happy, so thank you everyone for the support. I'm really glad you guys are enjoying. That's also why I'm just continuing and giving you more, obviously. I got some already positive feedback for the first person shortcast, so I will definitely do more of them. You guys seems to enjoy them a lot, so yeah, I was kind of surprised ever by some comments, like people telling me, well, yeah, you're thinking about some things while you're playing. I'm not thinking about all of that. And I'm not ever realizing that, because when I'm playing it's just kinda, in a bits or something like that. I'm not thinking about all of the stuff. I try to think about them for when I'm casting, so you guys can actually hear them. And yeah, but since those things are habits, maybe I'm not ever thinking about everything. Maybe I'm not talking about everything I'm thinking about when I'm playing, because it's kinda an hard exercise, so that's also something I should get used to produce better results. And yeah, also with the last two shortcasts I made, I think this one was much better. So if you watched two previous shortcasts, I'm sorry that they're not as enjoyable as this one. It's because I'm pretty sure it's because of the level of the players, but I don't mind, since I reviewed the previous games because I wanted to help players to improve. So definitely don't take this the wrong way. I don't have any problem by reviewing less interesting games, but I think for the neutral viewers this one may have been much better. So if you didn't much enjoy the two previous showcasts, then yeah, I'm sorry, and I hope this one was better for you guys. And yeah, I think I will stop for this one. If I want to add something else, I will do in later showcasts. So once again, guys, really thanks for all the nice comments. Really appreciating them. I'm reading all of them. I'm trying to answer most of them when I can. So yeah, very thanks, and see you for the next one.